Alright, what's happening, y'all? It's your boy Rico from Street Scores U, and we gotta break down the current highest committed wide receiver in this world-class 2024 Georgia Bulldogs class right now. Still the #1 recruiting class no matter where you look. And Carr, even though he's not a 5-star, is our highest rated guy. I already did a whole breakdown on Nitro Tuggle, who I feel like should be our highest rated receiver, because I feel like he should honestly be a 5-star with all of the athleticism that he has and all of that type of stuff. But Carr is our highest rated receiver, so I feel like it was only right to do a deep dive into his film and to see why some people feel like he's underrated, why he's only a 4-star rather than a 5-star, all of his measurables, his height, weight, everything. We're gonna dive into this tape and see what he's really worth. You know what I'm saying? He's from Colquitt County in Moultrie, Georgia, down there with some pretty good competition. And like I try to do with every video, I try to warn y'all that any of y'all that like pure film sessions and that's all you're here for, go ahead and skip ahead in the video until where you start seeing me do film session stuff. You see its huddle tape on the screen. Other than that, if you're just like me that wants to know all of the background information, we're going to do a deep dive into all of that before and after the intro as well. So again, if you want to look at film session as that's it, give you a disclaimer now. Just go ahead and skip ahead in this video until you get there, because I'm not trying to sit here and clickbait into watching a 30-minute video. But I just love doing deep dives with like just an update on the Georgia recruiting class, especially receiver wise. Who are the other receivers that we already currently have in this recruiting class? Who are some receivers that are still out there that are available that Georgia's still trying to get to add to this recruiting class? All of that type of stuff, man. But before we dive into everything, this film session, all of his background information and stuff like that, make sure you stiff arm that like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button so you get notification each and every time I release a film session just like this one. Just to let y'all know, go ahead and give y'all the heads up, I'm about to really start working on a lot of the film sessions for the 2025 class as well. We're going to start on a lot of those guys because, first of all, we're looking at junior tape for a lot of these guys. And it's like we already have access to some of the junior tape for the 2025 guys as well. So I'm like, we might as well go ahead and start looking at that, because Georgia already has some 5-stars that are already committed to Georgia. And then on top of that, we're in heavily for a lot of 5-stars, a lot of the top players in the nation at 2025 class. So I figure we might as well go ahead and knock those film sessions out as well. I still got more 2024 commits to look at, of course, like all of the offensive linemen like Nair Daniels, Daniel Calhoun, all of those type of guys. We still got to do Dylan Raiola and Ryan Puglisi. I'm working on those as well, but I want to go and start working on this 2025 class so that we can already have the film session right now, August of 2023, and then by the time we're back in August 2024, we can update the film session with some senior tape to see if they've improved or not and things like that. We're also going to do that for this 2024 class as well. By the time their senior season's in, by like December or January, I'm going to start doing updated film sessions for all of our commits. Like, again, Carr, who we're doing today, Nitro Tuggle, even like guys like Ellis Robinson, everybody. Joseph Jonah Ajanye, especially with him being a guy that's considered pretty raw with a very high ceiling. I'm very interested in doing another film session for him to see how much progress he made in his senior season compared to his junior season. So make sure you stay tuned for all of the content, man. Sorry for the long intro. Without further ado, let's get it. All right, so my boy Naquavian Carr, we're just going to call him Carr. That's what most people call him. This guy is the highest rated receiver in the current 2024 Georgia recruiting class. On 3 and 247 are very low on this guy. ESPN and Rivals love him though. And I'm not just going to sit here and be biased this time, because normally I kind of dismiss ESPN and Rivals when it comes to a lot of rankings, typically side with On 3 and 247. And just because On 3 and 247 are lower on him in this specific case right here, this specific player, I'm not just gonna be like, forget them this time. Nah, I'm gonna be consistent. We're gonna stick with On 3 and 247, even though On 3 industry rankings have him as the 67th best player, 14th receiver, and 11th player out of Georgia. And that's crazy to be the 11th player out of Georgia and to still be a top 70 player. Just shows you how much talent Georgia has coming out this season. Texas, Florida, Georgia, man, we run college football, especially high school talent wise. But either way, man, I truly don't believe there's 13 15 receivers better than this guy. And of course, I try to always give y'all the disclaimer with every film session. I try to avoid watching too much of a player. So when we do these film sessions that we're about to work on soon, a little later in this video, after I do this full breakdown, that I want to give y'all my genuine first reactions, my the real excitement. It's not fabricated. It's not me trying to reenact it from a previous time that I watched it and all of that type of stuff. You're seeing my genuine first reaction to these huddles, just like I'm pretty sure most of y'all watching this video, this is y'all first time seeing these plays as well. So just keep that in mind. So I know a little bit about him. I know that he's, well, now he's like 6 foot even. I'm seeing some places probably like 170, maybe 180. A pretty decent size for a receiver. We don't have a 40 time yet, which is really interesting. Like going into your senior season, I would assume that we had a 40 time somewhere, but I just haven't seen it anywhere. But I'm really hoping we get in on that. He had a 5'10" high jump, which was pretty interesting. That's pretty elite right there. Plays basketball, runs track. I love that type of background in my receiver. Can't wait to dive into this tape. From what I've heard, again, I haven't watched much on him. I've heard that he has 5-star talent and potential, but there's just some rawness to the game. That's why people feel like he's more so a 4-star, and that's probably where he'll end up. Like Joseph Jonah-Ajayi, Nitro Tuggle, even LJ McCray, if we end up getting them, I wouldn't be surprised if those guys finish being 5-stars by the time this recruiting cycle is finished, wrapped up, everybody signed on 3247, come out with their final rankings and stuff like that early next year. By the time that happens, I wouldn't be surprised if those guys become 5-stars. I don't think Carr is very likely to become a 5-star like those guys. That's why I'm not calling him an underrated 5-star, but I think he is a really good 4-star, and according to the industry ranking, a 67th overall player out of the entire country right now for a reason. I think he's talented, again, from the little bit I've heard about him, people talking about him in a couple of clips I've seen, but we got to do a full film session to really get a feel for who this guy is. But yeah, man, before we get into everything, on top of all of that, purely receiver wise, right now all we have is Carr, Nitro Tuggle, and Sakovi White. We were in on so many other receivers like Mike Matthews. We were trying to flip Jeremiah Smith. We're trying with Ryan Wingo, even though I doubt we get him, because that new bill that Missouri has passed to where high school players can start receiving NIL money as long as they commit and plan on going to a school in Missouri. That's pretty much a wrap, bro. You can't compete against that, man. KJ Bolden chose Florida State because their NIL offer was bigger. Williams Winery stuck with for the same reason like I'm explaining with the Bills, stayed in Minnesota because he can get paid as soon as possible in high school, doesn't have to wait till college. And I'm not sure if they can renege on that, like take that high school money and then after their season is over, just go ahead and change their commitment and sign somewhere else. Maybe we could still have a chance to get Williams Winery, KJ Bolden, or somebody like that. But for the same reason, Ryan Wingo, he's from Missouri, the same state as Williams Winery. Wouldn't be surprised if he just stays there to get his money in high school. We'll see, though. He was showing some interest in Georgia at one point. Months ago, it was seeming like Georgia was in the lead, and then that kind of fell off. We'll see how it goes. But Georgia's been in on a lot of receivers this class. But I'm not too worried about that because even Sakovi White, I like his talent. He's been making play after play after play so far. Very early. I mean, we're only like a week or two into high school football, but Sakovi White already has crazy highlights out there if you haven't seen him. Nitro Tuggle is just a freak athlete with 5-star potential easily. I mean, he could easily come in and he has like a George Pickens like ceiling athleticism. He doesn't have the hands that George Pickens has, but he's definitely a better athlete. 6'3", 190. I'm excited about him as well. But then again, Carr, out of everybody I've mentioned, Carr is the highest rated guy between those three. Again, 5'10", like I've seen somewhere that he's grown to 6 feet, 170 pounds, maybe 180 by now. This guy's very talented as well. Do not sleep on Carr. I feel like a lot of the times, a lot of our commits, like they don't have as much excitement amongst the Georgia fan base because they committed so early. This guy committed all the way back in July of 2022. That's why there's no real hype around this guy. Like, say if we were chilling and Carr committed to us tomorrow, August 21st. You know, Georgia, the fan base would be flipping stuff. Like, we would be doing backflips. We would be so excited. We got the highest rated wide receiver according to our current recruiting class right now. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily say that he's like Ryan Wingo, Mike Matthews, or definitely not Jeremiah Smith. But still, we would be very excited to just randomly get a 4-star wide receiver right now. But Georgia just did such a great job of getting a lot of these recruits to commit well before Dylan Raiola even committed. So we kind of like the excitement isn't it? Like even Ellis Robinson is arguably the best player in the entire country, including Dylan Raiola, Williams Nwaneri, Jeremiah Swift, and all of those guys. There's not much hype around him because he committed before the Dylan Raiola wave. You know, Dylan Raiola came in, we started getting all of the running backs, all of the offensive linemen, all of the linebackers we wanted except for Demarcus Riddick flipped. And it just seems like we had so much more hype around these guys because Dylan Raiola came in with big hype, and then everybody that added to it just got more and more hype. Joseph Jonah-Ajanye, all of these defensive linemen as well. Carr committed all the way back in July of 2022, so a lot of the hype just wasn't, I mean, when you're a 2024 class guy and everybody's still focused on the 2023 class and even kind of somewhat the 2022 class, the guys that just came in, we're still talking about Jonell Aguero, we're still talking about Jordan Hall and guys like that. So it's just kind of like he kind of got swept under the rug, but I'm telling you, Carr is a great player. Let's go ahead and dive into the film, man. It's no more talking. Again, I warned y'all to go ahead and skip straight to the film section if you were that type of person, but let's go ahead and get to it now. If you stayed, now it's time to be rewarded. Let's get into this tape. Of course, for receivers, I'm trying to see route running. I'm trying to see releases. I'm trying to see footwork. I'm trying to see hands. Are you a aggressive hands catcher or a body catcher? Right now, I'm already seeing a lot after the catch. He doesn't look like the fastest guy. Oh, no, now it's going now. Wait a minute. He may be an angle eraser. Y'all know I love my angle erasers, man. I want to see if we can do some angle erasing in this clip. All right, there he goes. Inside receiver. Manufactured touches so far. I like that. Oh, my God. He juked him. How did that guy get juked out of his socks like that? You had plenty of opportunity to make that play right there. And he's outrunning people. Now, granted, he's having to run away from him at an angle. So he may not be a true angle eraser like a lot of the guys we've done film sessions on already, but he's plenty fast. He's not the fastest guy out there. He's looking like a 4.4 something guy, but he's not looking like a 4.3 something. Maybe like a higher 4.4 something. I don't know. But either way, oh, great hands catch. Terrible throw by the quarterback. Completely underthrown. Way to track that ball down. That's great. That's great right there. On an island 1v1. I love the release. That's the release. A lot of wide receivers in high school don't have releases. He won this rep before he even really moved off of where he originally started. That's what a great release can do for you. Quarterback threw it where it needed to be thrown. Still slightly underthrown. Terrible cameraman angle. I don't know why we have that concrete in the way or whatever, that wall, whatever that is. But either way, man, that release is serious. So we can say release, check. We can say making people miss, yards after catch, check. We can already say that he has some speed to him. Not elite speed, but really good speed. Great speed, at the very least. And so far, it seems like he's catching the ball with his hands and not his body. That's big time. He has the ability to track the ball, even underthrown, terribly placed balls. Let's see if he can... We've seen him adjust the underthrown balls. I want to see if he can adjust the overthrown balls. That was a good one right there. That one was slightly behind him, like ever so slightly, but kind of there. He had to slow down. You notice how he had to slow down right there. He had to slow down to kind of get that, like, oh, the ball slowed, you know, a little bit behind, but hey, I'm not mad at the quarterback because there was another guy coming in. So that pass, if anything, was forced, and good job through contact to make that catch. I don't know why we don't have safety help for Carr at this point. Great way of tracking, so he can track the deep ball. I mean, that wasn't that many yards down the field, but that was over the shoulder. And like I've said, man, being able to catch the ball over your shoulder like that is one of the hardest things to do as a receiver. If you know football, you know that's one of the hardest catches to make. A lot of elite receivers even struggle with tracking the ball and catching it over the shoulder like that. I'm so happy you can do that. First of all, you're not dependent on your body. That's straight hands. If you're catching it like this, that's only hands. You don't have your chest to put the ball to, like to initiate the contact with the ball. You can grab it with your hands and then bring it to your chest to help yourself, but you still got to have good hands for that. You have to have good eyes and reaction time for that. Good ball tracking and stuff like that. I'm glad that's another check off the checklist right there. We got Carr all the way on the outside. It was the inside. Okay, he was doing all the way on the outside. Look at him. He had to slow down. Oh my God, look at the speed. He had to literally slow down. Like, wait, are we good? Like, I'm kind of open. You might want to see me. Slow down a little bit. You see me? You see me? Okay, I'm gone. I got it. Kick it right back into gear. Yeah, he's definitely looking like one of the fastest players out there. I'm still not seeing the ridiculous 4.3 something speed that we've seen from some of the guys we've already done film sessions for, but he's plenty fast. And hey, as a Commanders fan, I can tell you De'Ami Brown is a great deep ball threat, and he's not the fastest guy doing it. He's a high 4.4 guy. now that I'm starting to look at it, Carr may be a lower 4-4 guy, but he doesn't look like a 4-3 guy. But that's cool, man, because it looks like he does so many things right. He looks like a pretty complete receiver. Like, you see that route running, you see the subtle movement right there, the footwork to pretend to go back inside and then kick right back out without losing any momentum. Did he dip his hips? Because, you know, when it comes to making double moves as a receiver, if you can dip your hips, that's big. He didn't do much of a hip dip, but it was still enough to break that DB off by that many yards. And then underthrown pass, that should have been a touchdown. But sadly, it was underthrown. Good way to track that ball down, turn around and make that play. He's on the outside. He's coming across in like a weird slant. Oh my God, that was he caught that? That was ridiculous contact. So now we're seeing great hands through contact. That was purely hands. His hands had to stretch out. He couldn't even bring that to his body. That was only hands throughout all of that contact. So he has really strong, sure hands. All right, that's another thing off the checklist. I'm trying to figure out what this guy doesn't have. Honestly, the only thing he's missing is 4.3 speed, but he still has really good to great speed. It just may not be the elite of the elite. But I mean, like, I would say this guy may be faster than Ellis Robinson, who runs a 4.5 something. I know that at the very least. So he's not, I'm not saying he's slow at all. He has great speed, way faster than I wish I could ever be in real life. But he just doesn't have that, you know, that KJ Bolden speed. He may not even be as fast as Nitro Tuggle. He's definitely not an Arian Smith, but he's still up there. Like, he's one of them guys. Yes, sir. Briz, I know them guys. Come on, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Outside receiver at the bottom of the screen. Let's see what he does here. And y'all see, I'm trying to do a better job of not stopping, constantly letting the play go through at least once before I stop it and really start to break stuff down with the film session. All right, they are so worried about, all right, first of all, this is how worried they are about getting beat deep. I mean, all of the DBs are really far away from the wide receivers. This must be a high-flying offense, and Carr is no different. These guys, I mean, how are you playing off man coverage? You're 5 yards away from him, probably more than that before the ball snaps, and he still beats you deep. Like, what are you doing? How do you allow yourself to get beat deep in that situation? Even as the quarterback, how do you know he's about to beat this guy? Like, when the quarterback releases this right now, well, hey, the rule is if I'm even, I'm leaving. If not Carr, my receiver, is almost hip to hip, I mean, he's like only like a slight step behind the DB, you trust that Carr is going to be open at a certain point in this play, so might as well go ahead and throw that up. And that's what he did. If I'm even, I'm leaving. And that's exactly what he did. He left that boy. Good catch, man. Good job tracking the ball down. Thank you, quarterback, for a good throw finally. All right, Carr is the guy that's the taller guy on the outside, running straight up the field. Oh my God, that looked like it was like it fell out the sky, like straight above. Am I tripping? Like, did the ball look like it just came from straight above, like somebody dropped it? That was pretty nice. All right, let me focus on Carr now. That surprised me when I saw the ball drop like that. It looked like that was a nice throw. But yeah, I mean, well, if it wasn't underthrown slightly, Carr probably would have had a touchdown right there. The throw allowed the DB to catch up, but still a pretty good throw, decent. Okay, this guy wins through contact. That's all I was worried about at this point. The contact. I'm seeing everything else. Seems like he checks all the boxes. Dare I say 5-star? Like, what's going on here? What's he missing for the 5-star? Level of competition? I mean, I'm seeing everything. I'm not seeing the most crisp route running, but he's such a great athlete, it doesn't necessarily matter yet. And again, I'm also not seeing the ridiculous blazing 4.3 something speed, but he's definitely a 4.4 something guy. We're seeing manufactured touches. That's how you know he's one of the best players on the team, because we're getting him the ball no matter what. Pre-snap, we know we're giving him the ball, and he can make guys miss and stuff like that. But again, I'm not seeing the ridiculous, like, super game-changing speed, but it's still a lot of speed, man. Oh, all right, now we're starting to see some route running. There was a little bit of nuance right there. Still not the most sound, technical looking route running, but the athleticism, the speed, the quickness, man. This athlete, oh my God, the way he was able to get open right there. I love the angles he took. He's a really smart route runner. I love it, man. And again, a guy like 6-7 yards away from him. Don't get beat deep. No, there's no way you about to get beat deep. You had that. Oh my God, great job tracking the ball down. I can see why he's the highest rated receiver so far in this Georgia class, because he's coming with the highest highest floor. My fault. Nitro Tuggle easily has the highest ceiling, but this guy's coming in with the highest floor right now. Even though Sokovia White, some of the highlights I'm seeing within the first week or two of high school football that's just started. He's been looking really good as well, but this guy has a certain floor to him to where I just can't see how he can be a bust. I just don't see it. This guy comes with certain things that high school players don't normally have immediately. Oh my God, that route. Oh my God, that route. You see how he broke that guy? Oh my God, 4 yards of separation. They went from touching. This guy had a hand on Carr's shoulder. Again, this is Carr right here. Just follow him. Just follow. Oh, my fault. I led y'all wrong. My fault. He's out here. This is him. Ugh. That comeback route was ferocious, man. He went from having contact with the guy to 5 yards of separation almost, just by a simple comeback, man. This guy, hey, man, this guy's breaks on his routes are phenomenal, man. I love it, man. I love it. I love it. Sure hands. Was he down yet? Did that count? Was that down? I don't know. I don't know, ref. You might want to let him play, man. Let's see what my boy Carr. Okay, he does a great job. That's another thing. Check off the list. He does a good job of getting open in zones. He adjusts his route depth to depending on like where the zones are. Like me find that little spot, that little soft spot of where they don't have a guy there. I'm gonna be right behind the linebacker, right in front of the DB, so where the quarterback can get me the ball safely. I love it, man. This guy, his whole objective is to not get beat deep. So now you see what happens. All of those deep threat plays you saw him catching, all of those deep bombs leads to this. After you watch enough times of him dusting people, burning people down the field, and maybe that guy was already a victim, so he was like, not me on this play. And then all you got to do is just stop and do a comeback route real quick. And then you got an open receiver right there. I mean, thank goodness for that other DB that was in zone coverage that was able to help him a little bit, because boy, that could have gotten bad. Shouts out to the safety. And then I don't know, something about this comeback route didn't look as crisp as I would like. Looked like a couple of extra steps than I would like, but we can work on that. We could definitely teach him a little bit better. Yeah, that took a couple of extra steps than it should have. We can work on that though. Again, he's coming with a certain floor that I'm really excited about, but there's still some things we can polish and work on. Oh, I like that. That was savvy. That was savvy. The defense lost him. Okay, that was savvy. I like that route. Again, finding open zones in the defense, so you can't cover him in man. We've seen that with the double moves. We've seen you can't cover him in zone because he knows how to get open. He stays active too. I like the fact that he's keeping his body towards his quarterback so that while the quarterback is panicking and trying to make something shake, Carr is one of those guys that always finds work and finds a way to get open for the quarterback and make things easier for him. He's coming back towards the quarterback like, I'm coming to you. Let me help you. I'm right here. I'm available. Hey, man, this guy brings a lot to his game to Georgia. I'm really excited about this guy. This is one of those safe pickups that I think he has a relatively high ceiling as well. It's not a Nitro Tuggle ceiling, not a Jeremiah Smith or a Ryan Wingo ceiling per se, as far as like freak athletes. But it's still a ceiling that he can get better and become an even better player. And there's already a floor there. He looks like he's been playing receiver forever. Like Nitro Tuggle, he's an electric receiver, and again, I love him. I think he should be a 5-star just off of potential alone, but he doesn't look like he's been playing receiver forever. This guy looks nuanced. His hands, his catching, his ability to find open spots in the zone, to run towards the quarterback when he's in trouble. This guy looks like he's been playing receiver for many years, and this is just what he does. He looks fairly nuanced for a high school player. I mean, of course, if we were looking at this film session, judging him as an NFL player, you got to change his standards. It's not like an NFL ready type of guy, but coming out of high school, this guy's very nuanced. This guy's coming with a really high floor relatively compared to what most high school receivers come out like. And this is why he's a top 70 player, according to all of the industry rankings averaged out. I can see it. I can see why ESPN feels like this guy is way better than what On 3 and 247 thinks. Again, ESPN thinks he's the 43rd best player in the country. Rivals thinks he's the 36th. And you're seeing a lot of that right now on the tape. Again, I'm going to be consistent and stick with On 3 and 247 because that's what I normally do. I'm not just going to be on an agenda and just simply because Rivals and ESPN thinks this guy is better now. Yeah, he's not an angle eraser. He has great speed, but he's not an angle eraser. Some of the guys we've already watched tape on, they would dust this guy. Like our boy Nate, the running back from California that I love, the 5-star. He, at this point, like I'm gonna show you the exact point right here, he's dusting them. There's no hope of catching our boy Nate, our boy Nathaniel. There's no chance. He's dusting this guy. Naquavian, that's the only thing he's lacking. That true elite next level speed. He has really good speed, Good enough speed at the very least, but it's not the elite tier speed. And that play just proved it right there. He is not an angle eraser. So I cannot give him my angle eraser award right now, man. Matter of fact, when I start working on merch, we got to start pointing out the angle erasers. Oh my God. I know he's wide open, but the fact that this catch was just that pure and easy. He didn't catch it with his body to play it safe, like wide open. Let me catch this with my body just in case, because I don't want to fold the wide open touchdown. He still went up there with confidence, caught it with his hands. It looks so smooth. As soon as it touches his hands, there's no bobbling, there's no shaking. It's almost like he has a magnet on the ball and in his hands. It's immediately caught. So much confidence. I mean, like, I just do this. This is what I do every day. Made sure he tapped at least 3 feet in. I love that, man. That was a wide open play. There was more so just the defense folding more than like Carr getting open. But that was still a great catch and some positive to take away from that. And let me see this route again. Okay, finding work, getting open while the quarterback is under duress. And then great hands to catch that. Great job breaking the tackle afterwards. Great spin move. Hey, man, that little spin move to the inside. He was running towards the sideline. I'm telling you, when you run towards the sideline, you make a catch and then you spin inside. Boy, that DB, that's going to happen more times than not right there. I hope our receivers always do that to come to Georgia, man. That's big time. And great catch through traffic and all of that, and the ability to make that guy miss. Smart, nuanced thing. I don't know if he was coached to do that, if he naturally knew to do that. But again, I'm telling y'all, that spin, if you're running to the outside, he's originally running to the inside on the route. But then when he started to improvise, because the quarterback is just trying to make something shaky, he's trying to get open, he's running to the outside, so the DB starts running that angle to the outside. That spin move inside is almost impossible unless the DB is just an elite athlete to stop on a dime and adjust his body to make that tackle. All right, now we got Carr out here. Let's see what he's doing right now. All right, little soft spot in the zone and able to break tackles. He's breaking tackles. It seems like he can break tackles from pure strength more than he can from speed. And but I've seen a little bit of agility to his game. Again, manufactured touches, just get the ball to your best player. I mean, that's a big compliment. That's a big compliment to him. All right, bunch formation. This probably looks like this might be a screen. They got all of these guys in front of them. Yep, of course it's a screen. You as a defensive coordinator, you as defenders should know this is probably a screen. The best player is in a jumbo formation all the way over there, trips, with 2 receivers in front of them. And then they bring an extra guy tight end just in case. You know at this point for a pure fact, almost like 9 times out of 10, probably even more than that, this is about to be a screen pass. Just a word of the wise. I mean, you saw me predict it and I didn't even know. Like, come on, dog. We got to be better prepared for that. Why is nobody else reacting to that? Look at all of y'all still backing up, falling for this. Look at all of y'all still. It's 4 people covering this guy. It's a screen. The ball's already out. Why are y'all still backpedaling? 5 guys. Nah, that's ridiculous, dog. Come on, defense. Come on, I'm really disappointed in y'all. But shouts out to Carr. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I could be tripping. Maybe there was a chance that Carr catches this and then he throws it to that guy. So maybe that's what the defense is worried about. But you don't need 5 guys to cover that. You don't need 5 guys to cover that. Just let the deepest safety handle that. And I mean, all 5 of y'all running with this guy. So even if it does look like Carr maybe pump fake, like maybe y'all might throw it. Maybe they've done that before. But I love the ability to make people miss and keep going. But either way, worst case scenario, you don't need 5 people running after the guy. Whether I'm right or wrong, that's ridiculous, dog. All right, let's see what's going on. That throw was forced. Look how wide open this guy is. Yeah, we just going to get it to Carr no matter what the situation is. This guy's covered by 4 people. Good job finding that small zone, soft area in front of 5 people. This guy's wide open. That's how you know the quarterback loves Carr. That's how you know Carr has earned his trust. Because 5 guys covering him, nobody covering the other guy. That's a touchdown. But I'll take it as a compliment to Carr. Good catch, good catch, good catch. All right, so that's it for that, man. Hey, man, I like him, man. I'm not going to lie. I can see the argument for 4-star because he doesn't have just this ridiculous game-breaking speed. He's not an angle eraser. I can see all of that. I can see it. But, hey, man, this guy's coming with a certain floor. Man, and I ain't going to lie. If he has a great enough senior season, maybe he can fight his way into a 5-star. I don't think he's suddenly just going to become a 4.3-something Blazer. And I don't know, like, where this speed went throughout the rest of the highlight. Maybe that defense is just slower. I don't know. But he definitely doesn't look like he has that blazing 4.3-something speed. Maybe somewhere in the 4.4s, which is definitely good enough to great, especially if you could do the things that he does as far as being a receiver, route running, double moves, the aggressive hands, catching it with your hands, not your body, catching through traffic, finding soft spots in the zone to get open. When the quarterback, the play is off schedule, the quarterback's just trying to find somebody, does a great job of finding an open spot amongst the defenders and keeping his body facing the quarterback to show the quarterback, hey, I'm open, I'm available. He does a lot of great little things that add. I mean, look at that release. I almost forgot the release. Thank goodness we were watching the replay of the huddle, because I almost forgot the release. Don't forget the release. That was, I don't know where this was the rest of the highlight tape. Can we please utilize this more? Because a great release makes or break a play right there. Without that release, this is probably a contested catch, and who knows if he wins that 50 ball or not, 50-50 ball. But that crazy release right there is why he wins that route so easily. After that, you don't even need route running. After that release, you don't even need to be that fast. Quarterbacks need to throw it up there. You're open. But yeah, man, I see a lot of positive traits from this guy. I'm really excited. My highest rated receiver in our class right now, for a reason. I can see Nitro Tuggle passing him, becoming a 5-star just off of his ceiling. Even though he's still raw in some areas where Carr isn't raw in the same areas that Nitro Tuggle is. Carr is coming with the higher floor. Nitro Tuggle's coming with the higher ceiling. So you have the best of both worlds right there. And again, Sokovie White's been a highlight reel so far this first week or two of high school football, man. If you haven't seen it, go look for that, man. I may post a clip of it, like a highlight clip of all the Georgia commits so far, what they've done in high school, like Dylan Raiola and all of those guys, maybe. If I can get my hands on a lot of that footage. But man, back to Carr, my boy Naquavian Carr, man. This guy, I like him. He's a Georgia guy too. Like, not only committed to Georgia, but he's born and raised in Georgia. So I'm really excited about his talent, man. He's just one of those guys. He committed in July 2022 for a reason. This is just a guy that was born and raised to play at Georgia. Even if Georgia weren't back-to-back championships and going for a three-peat, this is the type of guy that would still be going to the University of Georgia. This is a guy that you would never, ever have to worry about flipping. This is as hard of a commit you can get. So I absolutely love that. I love guys that are just pure Georgia guys, regardless of what's going on. Even if Kirby Smart wasn't our head coach, this guy would still probably be at Georgia. That's how much of a Georgia guy he is. So I'm very excited about his future. I'm rooting for him. I hope he comes in and dominates. Right now, him, Nitro Tuggle and Sokovie White are Dylan Raiola's best targets as of right now, coming in with this high school recruiting class along in the 2024 class with them. So we'll see if we add more pass catchers. Of course, when Dylan Raiola, he'll also have some guys from the 2023 class, 2022 class, and maybe guy too from the 2021 class that he can throw to as well. But so far, side by side, adjacent 2024 class buddies, those are his guys, and I'm really excited. Again, Carr is the guy that's going to always be open, the guy with the raw potential. I mean, the high floor. Then you have Nitro Tuggle, who's the raw potential that can bust onto the scene and be like the next George Pickens, or what you hope that you would have gotten in Jeremiah Smith. He has that type of ceiling. And then you have Sokovie White, who's the small slot guy that's always going to be open and make a bunch of plays. So I think Dylan Raiola is already happy with what he has. If we don't add more, I'm content as well. I don't think people need to panic over the receiver position. I think we have some really good guys here. And if anything, Georgia has shown you that they can develop guys into being better than what their recruiting rankings are. I mean, look at our boy right now, Ladd McConkey. Like, come on, dog. Ladd McConkey wasn't even this good in high school, and look how good he is for Georgia right now, looking like he's going to be a top 3 round pick. Like, come on, dog. Like, and you could take a guy like Carr and Nitro Tuggle. Imagine what you could turn them into if you put them through the same coach and the same weight program, the same nutritional program. They should, if anything, be even better than Ladd McConkey. Now, it's hard to say because Ladd McConkey is different. I mean, you have people out here comparing him to Victor Cruz, which is crazy. I didn't even think of that comp, but I love it. But these guys do come in with a higher ceiling, more athleticism and stuff like that, so I'm really excited. But then again, I think Ladd McConkey's probably faster than Carr, but I mean, Nitro Tuggle, man, different. So I'm saying all of that to say that these guys, even though they're 4 stars, and I know Georgia's spoiled, so we want 5 stars in every position group possible, but don't worry about it. These guys could easily end up being better than a lot of the 5-star receivers, especially just off of the program they're going to, the quarterback that's going to be throwing them the ball, all of that type of stuff. So expect great things out of these guys. Do not worry, Georgia fans. That's my whole main point of this whole film session, basically, which is why I tied in not only Carr, but all of the other receivers that are included in this class. Do not worry, exhale. We don't need 5 stars at every position because Georgia is easily the best program at developing players from top to bottom. We have that on lock. You can argue if Georgia's the best recruiters, the best scouters, whatever. We can have debates back and forth, and I think Georgia is #1, if not at the very least one of the best in all of those categories as well. But at developing players, especially players that are like no stars, 2 stars, 3 stars, and turning them into great draft pick players, guys that are ready for the NFL. Nobody's doing better than that than Georgia right now. Point blank, period. Any fan base will tell you that. So if we have those type of developers in our coaching staff and all amongst our program and stuff like that, imagine what they're going to do with a guy like this is my whole point, and all of the guys we're bringing in. So don't worry. So yeah, man, that's the end of this. Definitely let me know in the comment section how you feel about everything I discussed in this video. Please stiff arm this like button, stiff arm the subscription button, and stiff arm the bell next to that subscription button. It means the world to me. I'm on the way to getting monetized, so I'm really excited because I would love to start making money off these videos, because once I do, I can start doing these daily and really keeping the content coming constantly. So please subscribe, man, because I really need those and support the channel. And of course, man, again, let me know in the comment section how you feel about everything discussed in this video. Do you agree or disagree with any of my points? I take any and all criticism. I really appreciate it. And I'm gonna catch y'all later with the next film session. I'm out.